All right, Evan. First of all, let's call this meeting to order. And our first order of business this evening, we're going to go off and not do the minutes yet. We have Evan Harris here to present as an Eagle Scout candidate his proposed project for a project at West Mountain Park. Good evening, Evan. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Very well, thank you. First of all, Evan, it does look like you're wearing your uniform. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes,
good
it
man.
is.
Absolutely good man. So, Evan, the floor is yours. Tell us what you would like to do for an Eagle project.
Okay. Thank you. Let me just present. I have a Google slide presentation. All right. So this is my presentation on my basketball court restoration at West Mountain Park. Hi, my name is Evan Harris. I'm a member of Scout Troop 76 here in Simsbury. I'm 13 years old. I'm in 8th grade, and I go to Henry James Middle School. In Scouts, I'm currently a patrol leader for my troop, and I'm also a member of the Scouts National Honor Society, the Order of the Arrow. And I'm trying to obtain my Eagle Scout rank. And here's some information on my Eagle Scout project for the Simsbury Culture, Parks, and Rec Department. I'll be making improvements to the basketball court at West Mountain Park in Simsbury, Connecticut. I'll be doing this for the Simsbury Culture, Parks, and Recreation Department. I'll be weeding where grass has grown in the cracks on the court, filling the cracks with asphalt filler, resealing the entire court, painting the backboards and repainting the white lines on the court, creating a border around the court with gravel, and building and installing 2 benches using pressure-treated wood. The basketball court is popular in town right now, and there are large cracks and weeds growing up in the cracks, which makes it hard to play there and not very safe. It's also hard to bounce the ball because the cracks have made the asphalt uneven. People can trip in the cracks and hurt themselves, like twisting their ankle or scraping themselves on the asphalt. And there are weeds that make the ball and people movement more challenging. Improving the court will make it safer to play on and allow more people to make use of the basketball court. And putting in benches will give people a place to rest and put their stuff and watch the games. Thank you for watching.
Well done. Very well done. So a couple of questions.
Yes.
First of all, in order to do this project, obviously you're using materials and you're going to need some labor. What have you done to fundraise and what have you done to get other scouts to help you?
So for the fundraising, I actually have an application that I'm working on, and basically I'll be my first step of action will be going around to local businesses and asking for donations. And then I will reach out to people that I know for donations. And as far as getting other scouts involved, I will be making announcements to my troop, talking about what I'll be doing and talking about when I'll be doing it so that scouts can come and volunteer.
Has this project already received approval from your local scout district?
I'm working on getting it approved currently. I know Mr. Tyberski has signed off on it, and I'm just waiting back on 3 more signatures.
First of all, I love the Mr. Tyberski reference. Way to go, Tom. So first of all, I'm familiar with this property, and I think that the idea that it needs to be improved, upgraded is absolutely essential because it gets quite a bit of use, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm, it does.
Do you live in the area?
I don't live too far away from it, and I've definitely seen people playing on it.
Can I make one suggestion, though? I would like you to add to your project also providing new nets and perhaps even providing some new nets where you would donate to the town some nets going into the future because those basically have to be, replaced every year, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tom, is that something that would be helpful to you?
It would certainly be helpful to us.
Okay. The other part of that is that, so I take it, did you have to submit some kind of a written plan again to the Scout Council or to Mr. Taberski about your proposal?
Yes.
Tom, you have that?
Yes, I do. I don't have it with me, but I do. Yeah. Evan and I have been working together for some time, and he's also met with Orlando Casiano, the park superintendent out there, to go over Orlando's approval, to get his approval, I guess, sign off, which is important for this. So he's done his homework on this. We've been in touch for trying to find a project for Evan for about a year, right? A match. Evan's been close to 9 months to 12 months somewhere. COVID certainly slowed things down, but he's been very diligent in reaching out to us.
So, Evan, then I'm curious, if you've been working on this for a year, and this is more on a personal note, did I hear you say you're 13?
Yes.
How are you going for Eagle at 13?
Well, I really think that a lot of it has to do with my brother. He really helped me with Scouts, and he had been in it for a couple of years before. So he really helped me out a lot.
So I want our commission to understand that I was involved in scouting for years, and the fact that someone at Evan's age is already prepared to be doing their Eagle project is extraordinary. I mean, really extraordinary. So, Evan, congratulations on your quick advancement. Yeah, I like the applause here. So, now, is this a project you're hoping, though? Obviously, winter's coming. Are we? What's your timetable?
Yeah, that's definitely a concern. I'm hoping to get it done soon, but obviously I still have to do another part, like all the fundraising and getting all the materials. So it might have to wait till the spring, especially because of like the ceiling and stuff. It has to be warmer weather for that.
And Tom, do you have some input? I mean, being that Evan's 13, he's not 17, turning 18 with the deadline approaching. Do you have any preference on when this is done?
I think he'll end up doing most of the work in the spring when it's warmer.
That's fine. That's fine. Well, could I have a motion from any committee member commission member that says we approve Evan's request for the project of West Mountain Park?
Approve. Excellent job, Evan.
I'll second, Dave.
Thank you. Evan, you're a great credit to the scouting crew and the fact you've done this so quickly, and it's a great project the town needs. I want to say personally, thank you. I appreciate your efforts and look forward to completing the project, and I would love to have an email so I can come out and see when it's done.
Okay, thank you.
Tom, anything else?
Nope. Just Evan, thank you very much. And again, he is not your typical 13-year-old. So
yeah,
good
no
for him.
doubt.
Kudos.
No doubt. All right, Evan, thank you, and we'll let you go at this point.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Evan.
And then, Tom, can I shift the minutes around so we can let John hop on and do his thing, and then we'll do the minutes and all?
I think that's a great idea.
Good evening, John.
Hello.
So, fill us in. You just got done with the biggest challenge of probably your entire career with the pool. Let's talk about the rink.
Well, yeah, we're doing great. Matter of fact, just had one of my first staff trainings today for the rink guards to get them on board. But thankfully, first of all, they're a great group. And secondly, they all worked for me this summer. Almost all of them worked for me this summer. So they know the protocols and they know what we're looking for. So I'm very comfortable in all of them. We're scheduled to open next Saturday. I think the reality with the weather, looking down the forecast, that's not going to happen. So probably shooting more towards the middle of the following week would probably be a good, be happy if we got there. As far as rentals and scheduling gone, we have done incredible. We are basically, any of our long-term group spots are booked. The only slot left to really to the public for the most part is 8:30 to 9:30 on Saturday night, besides some open times on holidays and things like that. But pretty much everything else is solidly booked. We've been very popular. We put out our skating lesson programs and those sold out in, I think, 3 days. Now, we did have to cut back on skating because I had to follow protocols and to have groups coming off the ice with the next group of skaters coming on just really was too much of a cross of people. So we had to cut back on it. But, I think I'm very confident we can produce another quality skating lesson program with all the protocols and procedures that we have to keep in mind.
No, that's actually great news, especially, I feel your pain with the, first of all, as a golfer, I'm sorry that our good weather is your bad news, but, it sounds like, oh my God, everything you could have done to make this a good season has already been done.
Yeah, I think we're in a good place, come up with some new programs to hope to kind of capitalize on the fact that there's more parents and people working from home. So I threw in more adult themed programs in the morning to try to give, kind of based on the fact that the golf course has been so crowded with people looking for something to do. I said, what the heck, we might as well move them into the skating rink. So I'm anticipating those will be very popular. I've been waiting, and I just got word tonight actually from kids coming back from college. So I'm going to be able to offer some day skating lessons for people who are home schooling or, hybrid learning, or if they're all home or whatever. So I've got real quality kids coming back from college. So I'm going to be able to offer some day skating lessons, which is exciting. I purposely left the early afternoon open for that possibility. And one of the real good quality kids I have is coming home. So,
part of that is that from everything we're hearing about, like at least the colleges, is Thanksgiving they're being sent home and they're being told don't come back till mid or late January. Do we have either open skate or how are you dealing with that issue that I think you might have some college kids looking for something to do?
Yeah, well, I mean, we do offer weekday skate, but we've cut it back. In previous years, it was a big block of time during the day, Monday through Friday, and people just kind of came. And, I think it was a long time. Then it was the same amount of people, no matter how much ice you put out there. So instead, I shortened the time and I shortened the amount of days to try to compress that group. But in the meantime, I filled in those spots with more kind of specific programs. So we have the opportunity for them to come Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But then, for instance, this one girl who's just an outstanding instructor, both swim instructor and skating instructor, she actually has opted out of college for the second semester. So she's going to be here for me, which is fantastic. The same protocols we're going to have to follow that we followed in the summer. We're going to have pre-registration for every program. There's no walk-ups allowed. That includes skate rentals. So, if you sign up, if you want to come skating, you have to pre-register, pay, and pre-register and pay for your skates. We've had to make a lot of movements with the way we do things there because the skate room, if you know what the skate rental room looks like, that would not accommodate people and we wouldn't be able to distance, and it would be a lot of protocol violations. So I've kind of redone it, and we're going to be moving skates, and the rink guards will be working hard. Let me put it that way, but I think we'll be able to pull it off. So.
Commission members, I know that we have a couple of hockey people out there. Any questions for John about the programs? Oh, and before we even go there, though, for those of you who haven't seen it, John, you and your staff put together an absolutely fabulous brochure that's been shared with myself. I know Jerry Wetchin's seen it as well. It just lays out, boy, here's program after program, here's times, dates. So I want to just commend you and your staff that I think that from a marketing standpoint, you guys did great.
What I like to see too is trying new programs, and there's a lot of new stuff in there.
I appreciate that. I give, Krista Yard, I gave her the information and said, go for it. And she put it together and did a great job. It was really, I was really happy with what she produced for us. She's been wonderful. She's been a big help through the summer and now the fall/winter season. So she's been fabulous.
Yeah. Commission members, any questions? Okay. Well, so again, John, I can only compliment you and your staff, not only for what you did over the summer, but, look at this transition. Here we go into the winter. You have the same problems, the same issues. You probably learned a ton from, the pool program. But when you put a brochure like that together, you find ways to bring new people in and still accommodate the existing clientele. It sounds like it's going to be a great year. Let's hope your weather doesn't, crush my golf game too much. But
Yeah, well,
I have to give in sooner or later.
I've been trying to market it as a breath of fresh air. Come out to the farm. So we'll see.
You're a marketer at heart, John. You're a marketer at heart.
Thanks, Kelly.
So John, thanks for hanging out with us for a couple of meetings in a row. We promise we'll try not to, drag you in too many times.
Anytime. I'm happy.
We'll get Mr. Varengia for the next two.
Yeah, John and I will come in as a team. How's that?
Dynamic
we'll
duo
a
there.
routine for you.
There we go.
All right.
All right. Thanks, guys.
John.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All righty.
All right. I think we can get to the minutes. The minutes were sent out to everyone, and I would simply ask, after review, does anybody have any requests for additions, deletions, changes, alterations, anything?
They look good to me.
If that is the case, then I ask that they be placed on the record. All right, now it's dark out here in my porch, so I'm trying to read my program here. I'm going to get a flashlight in just a second. Tom, what's the next thing up?
We were just going to thank Danielle Celli for joining the Sustainable CT Committee in place of Sarah Kramer. So you can just
Give Sarah a break, yeah?
So with that being said, first of all, Sarah, thank you very much. You really came back to us indicating that you felt this was a really, really worthwhile project, one in which you learned a lot, but also that you felt we needed to stay involved with. And Danielle, flip side, thank you. This is part of being a commission member, is there are these other committees that we need to participate in. And I really appreciate you stepping up. So, Sarah, any comment?
I just want to say I'm happy to do it. I'm really excited. Oh,
I just want to say thank you, Danielle. Hopefully you find it interesting and serve us well on the committee. But I think it's super fascinating. I think they're going to undergo some great projects. So hopefully you enjoy it.
yeah. I mean, it's still the process. So I hope everything gets approved. I did fill out the paperwork, but I just wanted you guys to be aware. It's not official yet, but I think that will be done soon.
They'd be crazy not to accept you.
Thank you.
So, Tom, do we need to do anything as a motion or a vote to?
Yeah, I would just for I think we did this with Sarah. We just made a motion, someone made a motion to endorse Sarah's candidacy as a representative of the Culture Parks and Rec to Sustainable CT.
All right, and I want to just correct that. We want to endorse Danielle as a member of the Sustainable Connecticut Committee. Sarah's looking to get off.
Thank you for the endorsement.
Jerry, you made a motion. Can I have a second?
Second.
There we go, Liz. Thank you, Liz, and welcome, Liz. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions? There we go. Keep us informed, Danielle, as to what's happening.
I will.
In addition to why we're talking about Sustainable CT, Dave and I have spoken before about inviting the chairman, Sherry Callan, in to do a brief presentation. And it's been with COVID, things have been a little off on our calendar this year. I think we should, aim to do that in maybe February, if possible, when things, after we get past the budgeting and fee setting type of things. Maybe February would be a good time to do that.
I don't think budgeting will get done until June or July.
The heavy lifting on my part will be done by that point.
No, but Tom, I agree that I think it'd be great to hear from them, kind of the global approach or the town approach to the whole thing. So that's a great, please make that arrangement if you could.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, Tom, we're going to put this right back in your lap with Simsbury Celebrates.
Sure, and thank you. I can't remember if we talked briefly about it last time, but the Simsbury Celebrates committee is moving forward with plans for an event on the Saturday after Thanksgiving. I believe we're at 19 years of Simsbury Celebrates, and then certainly I think 10 years of opening night prior to that. Everything, COVID's changing everything, and there will be some COVID angle to this. The parade, there's going to be what's called a standing fire truck parade along Iron Horse Boulevard, tentatively scheduled for 5 to 8 p.m. And by a standing fire truck parade, if you picture, let's say it's 25 fire trucks all decorated for the holidays in the northbound lane of Iron Horse Boulevard, they'll be parked. They're going to get there for 5 o'clock. They're going to park. They're going to turn their lights on and have all the decorations that they normally do. And what we're going to do is ask parade goers to basically drive in the southbound lane in the opposite direction slowly to view the parade. And the Simsbury Fire Department radio station will be playing holiday themed music for you to listen to as you go down and enjoy the show. SCTV is going to help us produce videos of some of the Simsbury Celebrates flavor performers. The Theater Guild has signed up to do something. We've made overtures to many of the local performers, like the Play Strong Studio, the High School Holiday Cabaret, the Bell Choir at First Church, groups like that, to do a 10-minute performance that SCTV will basically make a Simsbury Celebrate show out of. That'll be shown that evening, and then again through the month of December. The annual gingerbread competition is happening. We'll have a virtual show of that, the tour of the exhibits. We'll have kind of the behind the scenes making of, the at home making of the gingerbread houses, candids, we hope, bloopers, maybe. That would be part of this as well. And we are still working on a fireworks show. I was hoping to have some rock solid news for you on that. It's still in the planning stages, so I can't tell you exactly when and where, but our hope is it'll be that evening. And our intent is to, let's say, have a location that can be seen by a lot of people in town and allow people to go to large locations or large parking lots and be able to view the show. It's unfortunate we can't do it at Iron Horse that evening with social distancing. It just isn't the appropriate site to do it, but we've scouted a few locations in town that would allow us to do a show that will be shot higher in the air than what we typically do at Simsbury at the Meadows. But you'll be able to see it from a number of locations in town, whether it's your homes or it's a school parking lot, for instance, or another large parking lot that people would be allowed, be able to park and watch the show from their car or sit on the roof, out in front of their car. And again, it could be possibly choreographed to music that'd be played by the Simsbury Fire Department radio station, and you'll be able to, just like you would at Simsbury Celebrate down at the Meadows, see it. So that's what's going on right now. The need for volunteers isn't going to be as much as we normally do, I guess, as people won't be in person at the event. It's certainly, we need some volunteers that night, whether it's, parade marshals or again, being a monitor at some of these parking areas where the fireworks might be. We'll certainly reach out to the commission on that. But we did send the Celebrates Committee did send some fundraising letters out about a week or so ago, and there's been some really good response to those letters. And if anyone watching or any on the commission would be interested in donating to Simsbury Celebrates, you can do that at the SimsburyRec.com site, or go to SimsburyCelebrates.com and you'll be transferred to the rec site to make that donation if you didn't get one in the mail. And again, we're still waiting. A lot of plans are still in flux. The group is meeting again early next week, kind of nail some things down, and we're hoping to hear from, again, if somebody watching is a local performer, local performing group and wants to be a part of this, they can still reach out to me, and we'll try to set them up with SCTV and fit them into the schedule. That's pretty much where we are. Again, 2020 is certainly something we're trying to get through as best as we can, and we think Simsbury Celebrates is something that everybody looks forward to every year, and it would be one of those, like the movies. It'll be one of those things that will bring joy to people in an otherwise tough year. So
Well, no, so Tom, thanks for the update. I stopped down to the Spooktacular parade. Oh, they had cars lined up, and I think that's the same idea here, is that I think you're going to find a great response from the general public. They want something to do. Tom, I'm happy to volunteer. Any of the other members, let Tom know. And frankly, again, part of our being commission members, not that we personally donate, but if we know other people that are interested, I've already donated. They need money to put these events on. They don't need a lot of money. But if you'd consider doing that, certainly I would appreciate it. The town would appreciate it. It's a tough year. The Simsbury Celebrates has been a great event, and we're going to find a new way to put it on. So thanks for the update, Tom. Any questions, anyone? Okay, moving on then.
Sorry, I just wanted to
I think
quickly-
Daniel,
Tom, I would love to volunteer, and so please, and I would love to make sure I sign up in time to get to go. So I don't know when all that happens, but just please keep me in the loop with that.
Absolutely.
Thank
Tom,
you.
This sounds like a volunteer to be Santa Claus or the Grinch on one of the trucks. So make that happen, will you?
See what I can do.
All right. The next one lands on me, an update on the deep forestry work. So if some of you were aware, at primarily a Great Pond State Park, there had been forestry work being done, basically cutting a great deal of the forest, leaving a great amount of the wood. The whole idea being this is just maintaining the habitat. Well, there's been a lot of concern expressed about the fact that they really were kind of just clear cutting, and there wasn't a lot of rhyme or reason into what was going on. So Kevin Whitkos and John Hampton got involved and initially got the work stopped, not canceled, but stopped. Subsequent to that, I have it written here somewhere, I apologize. There was an email shared that it's actually now been officially canceled. So Tom, I know I talked to you earlier. I've actually been able to verify with our representative, John Hampton, that in fact, yes, as a result of the efforts of Kevin Whitkos and John Hampton, the deforestation, I guess I'd call it, and this is no opinion, positive or negative, that project is in fact now canceled. So for the time being, there will be no additional taking of trees, removing of trees. I think my only concern is what are they going to do with the materials that have already been down? Because if anybody, I use that park with my dog, there's a lot of timber still there. There's a fair amount of equipment still there. And I'm going to simply leave it open to say, I'll continue to follow up with our state representatives, as will Tom, and we'll give you an update. But I think the important thing was it's done. And, if anyone was concerned about that, we wanted to let you know. Any questions? All right, moving on.
All right.
The review of the Special Revenue Funds Subcommittee. So, Jerry, it's you and me.
I have no comment.
I'm going to leave this to you as long as you cannot, go down the route.
I'll get too stirred up.
Don't forget Chris is on this. Chris is on
I
the
know.
call too.
Let Chris talk about it.
No, Chris is look at Chris. Chris is like, oh my God, keep me
You
out
got
of it.
enough pain and suffering with your knee replacement, right?
Well, here, I'll lead off, and if you guys want to fill in, you're welcome to do that. I would just say that as previously reported, the Revenue Fund Committee began meeting again back in, I believe it was early September. It's two members of your commission. It's Dave and Jerry. It's two members of the Board of Selectmen, Chris Peterson and Sean Askham, and two members of the Board of Finance, Art House and Linda Schofield, along with assistance from the town manager, the assistant town manager, our finance director, and myself. I think there's been 3 meetings held. It might have been 3 meetings held so far.
We've had 3, yes.
3.
Yep.
And discussion has taken place on basically a way to resolve the issue of a constant shortfall, a perceived shortfall in the culture, in the Parks and Recreation, what's known as the Parks and Recreation Special Revenue Fund, which basically is all encompassing of golf, pool, rink programs, and any other rec and leisure programs and classes that we do. that fund was set up in 1999, 98. It was successful. It was turning a net profit for a number of years, and then through circumstances with town budgeting, staff costs were added to that fund. More of the overhead involving utilities and health benefits for employee benefits were added to that, and it basically became a burden on the fund. It started showing up as a loss in the red many years. The town was then having to backfund it through end of year funding. And every budget cycle, it became a bone of contention with many of the groups, and why it resulted in increased fees and ultimately probably resulted in some staff cuts as a result of the finishing in the red so often and with such large numbers. It wasn't sustainable. We did a survey that showed other towns were funding their parks and recreation quite differently using general fund dollars. We illustrated
we are the
that.
outlier.
Yeah, and we were the outlier, and we've illustrated that. So the discussion is taking place on how to properly fund parks and recreation services outside of parks maintenance, which is currently tax funded. What we're talking about here is whether the golf course, pool and rink, and rec program should be completely user funded. As compared
Correct me if I'm wrong, Dave, but the general sense right now in the group is we've gotten to that option 2 in terms of thinking in terms of putting the Parks and Rec admin, the supervisor, and utilities out of the revenue fund and moving it back to the general fund, if not all of the special revenue fund, except for possibly the golf course. The golf course may stand alone. So there's no final summation on that, but I think right now we spent most of our time at our last meeting trying to find out how those 3 dollar amounts can fit into the general fund without the Board of Finance having a canary.
Jerry, I think that's a great summation, is that the primary concern here is how do we fix a longstanding problem without increasing the mill rate? And the answer is we're not sure we can, and yet a fix needs to be done. I am encouraged by folks like Chris and the rest of the members of our committee. They understand that there's a shared burden here and we need to fix it. We're not there yet. I think then I almost encourage that we just we have a meeting coming up next week that we'll simply report back our progress after that next meeting. We just wanted to let you know that we're working diligently. We're working with Board of Finance, Board of Selectmen, staff. And again, Chris, I do appreciate the time you spent working with us.
So yeah, that's pretty much.
He's like, I'm out of here. I've had a knee replacement.
Yeah, that's a pretty good summation, and that's where we are at this point. Discussion continues. It's a lot of work, and again, thoughtful discussion about what is the best way to go.
It's not that we're not going to do it. We got to find a way to do it.
Yes.
There we go. Typical Jerry.
The idea is this is tied up before the start of our budget preparation season, so we know which way we're going to get that work accomplished. So,
all right, let's move on because this meeting's already an hour and a little about hour 35 by the time we got started. Tom, I don't know, how'd the golf course do?
We've had a phenomenal year. The parking lot continues to be packed full every day. We've had a really good success with our outings this fall. The weather has certainly cooperated for those. So a lot of the outings that we lost, or many of the outings, I should say, that we lost in May and June, some did reschedule to the fall, and we've had great weather to get those in. We continue to have great rounds numbers, and certainly, as Jerry will attest to, we're probably, last year was our best year. We're off to a great first 4 months of fiscal year 22 as well. So I'm sorry, 21.
We're in a tough spot because when I've been up there, they answer the phone and they keep telling people, sorry, we are booked for the day.
Yeah.
There's so many people that are looking for a place to play. And part of the reason is some of the courses have gone to pot around us. People don't want to go there anymore.
So,
Well, the
we're
other
happy.
part of that,
Yeah.
Jerry, was I went up there over the course this weekend. It was great to see there were 2 outings, and we got to keep those outings in line. And I understand that it may lock out the general public, for a week, for a day or two, but our loyalty to those October events, think about that, October events is critical. So again, kudos to John and his staff to keeping us going, and to Mike and his staff. It places in great shape. So again, let's keep it rolling.
Yep.
All right, Kelly, you're up, man.
Okay, real quick. First of all, thank you, Dave, for being involved in so many different committees and for putting so much into the town. I think you deserve a lot of credit. It goes without saying, but I'll say it anyway. I feel like really you do a lot for the town. You do a lot for Parks and Rec, and you just deserve a lot of credit. So thank you. And that goes to everybody else for volunteering and being a part of things. So, Board of Selectmen, they also don't get a lot of praise. They get a lot of pushback from the residents, but they often don't get the thanks that they deserve for the time that they put in. So thank you guys. On October 2nd, we had the tournament, Friends of Simsbury Farms, and we honored Mike Wallace, which I thought was quite appropriate given what he's done for the farms and for the course. And I think the people that were there would say that it was a good time had by all. Yep. Mother Nature didn't cooperate early, but by the end of the day, it turned out to be spectacular. And short of my golf game, which I'm not even sure would be considered golf, the day was outstanding. And we raised a fair amount of money. And I brought in a couple of buddies from college, one from Stoneham, Mass, and another one from Philly. And both had never played at the farms before, and both commented on the unbelievable condition of the golf course, number one. But also, and the guy from Stoneham mentioned really what a gem, and I don't know if he used the word gem, but his expression was that the facility itself was just incredible in that it was a public facility. So in all of our doings and comings and goings, we should really work hard to make sure that we keep that gem polished and at the best it possibly can be, which is a good segue into, we raised a fair amount of money. I don't want to give you the number because I don't really know what it is at the moment, but it was a reasonable amount of money, and it's going to go back into the coffers of the Friends. And then, as projects come up and Tom or even the commission comes up with projects that need to be funded that are appropriate, as Dave and Tom and I talked earlier in the week, appropriate projects will be put into consideration. And last but not least, great presentations. You guys did a nice job. And I think Mike very much appreciated it. He sent out a note of thanks and to everyone for the generosity that day and their kindness, and overall just a nice time.
It really was. Mike's a treasure. Sometimes you don't know it. You have to until it's gone. But I think we've all had a good last couple of years to really appreciate the work that Mike has done up there. And he's just not on the golf course too. Mike kind of is one of those guys who's happy to lend his wisdom. He's a smart guy. He knows a lot about a lot of different things. And he's, from my perspective, in the 2.5 years I've been back here, getting to know Mike on a different level, he's been a very great sounding board to me. Whenever I need to talk something out, Mike's kind of one of the guys I go to. And, he's a good friend, and we're sorry to see him go, but wish him the best in his new chapter for he and his wife and his family. So.
Yeah, I know Mike has done a lot of presentations before the state legislature regarding herbicides, pesticides, and especially with all of what's going on with the parks, not just golf courses, but parks in general. And I know he's the lead person for the Board of Education in training all of their people and dealing with herbicides and pesticides.
Well, I will say, just to wrap up, even though I thought I was done a second ago, the one thing that I did hear from various members of the staff at the farms, because we commented on what great shape it was and how lush it was, and the kind of the common sentiment was, and you guys know way more about this than I do, but there's a lot of bubble gum and tape keeping the irrigation system together in a lot of places, apparently.
Yes.
So if I heard it right, that's
That's been put out now for 3 years.
Yeah.
And it's in the budget for 21, 22, I believe,
Yep.
which I don't see happening.
Mr. Positive here.
well, then maybe invest
Well,
in.
I got a lot of track record here dealing with the capital improvements in this town.
Anyway,
Well, with that
I'd
being
throw that out there.
No, although that, so first of all, the tournament was great. A number of us, Sarah, thank you for being there with your group. I want to give kudos. So first of all, one of the things that Kelly, we had asked you to look at was getting greater participation from the women's groups. And I want to commend them that they did a great job. We had more women participants than we've had at any other golf tournament ever. So I don't know where the kudos go there, but I'm going to look to you, Kelly, and you, Sarah, to say thank you. That was fabulous. Secondly, Kelly, hands down. I got emails from you. I got how to bid on auction items from you. You took money out of my pocket at the end of the day. But
Why do you think I gave you so much
your
credit?
efforts and the efforts of the committee, this would not nearly the success. You're right. It was a crappy day to begin with. So by the end of the day, though, you found a way to make things work. So thank you. And I think I may be unstable on my. Can you guys folks hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah,
My
I
bad.
just want to second that. It was a terrific day, and it was great to honor Mike. And it started a little dreary, but it ended sunny, and it was just start to finish. It was a super day.
Now, so Kelly, this is again another example of a commission member joining up, doing something new, adding to their responsibilities. And I just want to commend you. I think you did a great job. You brought technology to this with the idea of bidding online. So thank you.
I thought he was a perfect replacement for me.
I thought he was my replacement.
There we go. All right. Any other questions about that? Let's move on to the next agenda item, which is the restaurant lease. Tom?
And yeah, this we should be pretty quick going in from here. The RFP for the restaurant, it is 95% done. I got back some corrections from town administration yesterday that I have to just go through tomorrow, and hopefully it's not too many. And then my goal would be to either get it out, make it live tomorrow or Monday at the latest. I'm hoping. Everybody's been very patient on this. We have a lot of things going on right now, and this is just one of them. And I'm trying to get it out as quickly as possible.
I think the key thing, Tom, is that we changed so much from prior RFPs.
Yeah, and then we basically created this one for both of the Golf Pro and the restaurant from scratch. Because they haven't been done in so long. So, and we did want to change some things and put ourselves in the best position to attract a vendor, a new partner that will be with us for.
There's more flexibility.
Right. So my hope is that those will go out. We're still getting calls from people who are interested and they're eager to see it. So I hope that bodes well for this process, and we'll keep you updated at our next meeting in early December. We should have a list of candidates at that point in the process. Any questions on this? Yes, Kelly.
What's the time frame? Please say it again.
If it goes out tomorrow or Monday, bids would be due back, I believe. I don't have it right in front of me, but I believe I had the 16th or 17th of November as a bid due date. And then our selection process, will work around Thanksgiving into early December. For review, and then the idea is to have somebody under contract by January 1st. Any others? Which leads me into the RFQ for our golf professional. As you've heard from me before, we're certainly very happy with John Varengia and his work and his staff, what they've done for us for the last 20 years at Simsbury Farms. But as part of the town's purchasing policies, the Golf Pro contract was not put out to bid, I guess, is the best way to put it. Over those last 20 years, John's contract's just been renewed. The new purchasing policies don't allow us to do that. So we have created an RFQ for which is a request for qualifications for a Simsbury Golf Professional. That is, again, I'm waiting back from town staff or our attorney just to, put the final touches on this, and then ideally it goes out next week. And roughly the same timeline, Kelly. The Golf Pro would be our priority to get that squared away. Ideally, maybe even before Thanksgiving. That's my hope.
You need to have something done, especially John, with a lease on his carts.
I believe that's part of it. Yeah. I mean, just to be fair to John as well. Yes. So we are trying to expedite this, and again, I don't have anything else to say on it, but by the time we meet again in December, early December, we should have a very good idea of where we
Dave,
are.
I'm going to send you an email on something on this later or tomorrow morning. Not that it throws any flies in the ointment, but there is a provision within the town charter that they could waive doing the RFQ or RFP. But that's a function that we would have to deal with Maria on.
No, I think it's important. Maria's been very consistent in her approach on these kind of issues. This is she's been brought in to organize our house, and so let's let her do her job.
Yep.
Okay.
Tom?
Next.
Tom, I have a quick question.
Yes.
Somebody asked me something and I couldn't give the answer to, which you probably already told us, but there's for the Golf Pro, there's a fee on when you play golf, it says Golf Pro and then it's like $675 or something. Is that what is that? Is that
did you buy something? Jerry, you can better explain it. If you bought something from the golf
a
pro
rent a
shop.
cart or range balls, there's a split between the town and the golf professional.
Okay.
Compensation. And the way we've set it up under our point of sale system is that is immediately split at the time of sale. Whereas historically, the town would get paid and then the town would have to pay John. This just facilitates the payment to John. He gets paid a month or so before he used to. So it's
okay.
Immediately at the transaction.
Okay, thank you.
Moving on, and last couple items here. We've been updating you on projects all along here. The roadway lighting parking project, we did get bids back. I think they were coming in about the time we had our last meeting. Those bids did come back. That project, like a lot of projects we're seeing during this COVID time, it came back over budget. The town engineer who's in charge of that project has been working to get it to a number that may be doable. Within the project scope as originally outlined. We're reviewing still that process isn't set. No contract's been awarded. I am not sure if we will award the project or maybe go about or look to restructure it so we can complete the project as originally outlined with the fiber line connection and the lighting. That if so, that would move the timeline back to next spring or next summer. My feeling after thinking about a lot of the factors involved would be to do it right and get everything done at one time. And if that means waiting another 6 months to a year to do it, that would be my preference. And but the town staff is still working out what's going to be best for us at this time. So there's no update. there's no movement. It will not. It's looking like it will not. You won't see shovels in the ground this fall. I mean, I think that's.
On a positive note, though, the painting at the clubhouse looks great.
I was just going to mention that that project did come back under bid and will be completed. Take
some of that extra money.
Yeah, by next week, I think we should have 2 fresh coats of stain on that building. The contractor's been great to work with. He's moving very quickly. He's had great weather to work with as well, and we did change the color up a little bit on the building. I hope you like it. I think it
looks great. Also, It's more of a paint than a stain.
It is, and which ideally for us, the problem we've had with that building on the south side is it gets so much sun that dark color faded very quickly. Yep. My thinking is with going with this lighter color and more of a paint type product, it will last a little bit longer. So we won't be looking at a weathered building in 3 or 4 years like what we had been.
I got some positive comments when I was up there today.
Good. I think it looks great. So, and again, that project's is moving along. And then last but not least here on my agenda, let me just make sure here on my agenda. Yes. The Parks Open Space Master Plan, that meeting, the final draft is available on the town's website. It is still in draft form. The Board of Selectmen has not accepted that document yet. They're going to get a presentation on it from the consultant at Weston and Sampson on Monday evening at 5 o'clock. That will be live on the government channel on SCTV, I believe. So you're welcome to watch it. It's probably going to be about a 45-minute presentation with questions from the Board of Selectmen at the end of it. The document is, I've sent you all a link to it on the town's website. So it is quite large. View it at your leisure or when you're trying to fall asleep at night. And it's quite long, 290 pages, I believe. So, get a chance to take a look at it, but you've had some chance to look at the previous drafts, and there's been some subtle changes as we've moved along, obviously. But at some point, I believe that document will probably stay in a draft form so we can keep it updated as we move along. I think that's probably a good way to go. But we look forward to receiving the comments back from the Board of Selectmen and any questions that they may have on Monday evening. And I am very much looking forward to wrapping up that project and getting going on some of the recommendations and implementing the policies and some of the changes that we've all been speaking about for a long time, and just keeping moving forward. And I envision that we will be having a brief, this will be on the agenda for the next decade or so, if not monthly, every other month, just to let you know what we're doing, and as we're checking off boxes along the way.
Great update, Tom. Yeah, a lot going on. So you know what, though? I want to just take a moment and thank Tom. If you folks got a feel for the number of, I thought, Chris, you attended a lot of meetings and you got a lot of your free time booked up with Board of Selectmen things. The fact of the matter is that our director of Park and Rec has just done, sorry folks, a kick-ass job, and has done it where he's taking time on weekends. He was on vacation last week, and Jerry Wetchen wouldn't leave him alone with email after email. And God bless you, Jerry. That's what you do.
I warned him when he got the job.
Well, no. So I just want the commission to understand over the course of this whole COVID experience, but then even as we're going into the fall, there have been more subcommittee meetings, more town meetings than you can possibly believe. And we made an absolutely great hire, but also we made a hire of a guy who's working his tail off. And so I realize we're meeting virtually, but can we have like a virtual applause for our Park and Rec director, because he's doing a great job.
Thank you.
Good job, Tom.
I've got a really good support system, not only at this board. The Board of Selectmen has been very supportive of what I'm trying to do, what we're trying to do. The town administration has been extremely helpful to me. And I am very lucky to have a team at Simsbury Farms, whether it's golf or at the main building, who is incredibly talented and makes me, they make me look good. So thank you.
Very dedicated employees.
No, absolutely. So with that, does anybody have any new business? God bless us. We do not. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
Second.
As always, thank you all for joining us. Thank you for your volunteering. And if there are other volunteer opportunities, let Tom know, especially with the upcoming Simsbury Celebrates.